The fighting pride of the United Kingdom, the former unified heavyweight champion of the world, AJ Anthony Joshua. What's going on? All thanks for tuning in once again. Grab a drink, grab a coffee, grab a refresher. I'm going to be talking for a while, so I appreciate your time. As I said, thanks for stopping in. And we're going to talk, man. We're going to talk boxing. We got Joshua Usyk, biggest heavyweight fight up to date. Running gets the majority of the bouts, okay? So, there's a lot on stake here. It's a very similar situation with Andy Ruiz. Joshua loses to Ruiz and rematches him in Saudi Arabia. This is exactly what's happening here. He loses to Usyk and he's rematching him in Saudi Arabia, right? So, usually you challenge the champion in their backyard. That's how it should be anyway. But obviously, we know what's happening in the Ukraine, and they did want to run it back in the UK, but Usyk said, no, I want to be somewhere else. So that's what's been delaying. They've been trying to find a venue. The venue's set, the date's set. The fight's on, okay? But in this case, Joshua isn't fighting an out-of-shape guy. He's fighting a guy that's probably in more shape than the first fight. When he challenged Ruiz in the rematch, Ruiz was out of shape. He was starstruck. He was getting millions of followers. He was spending his money like there's no tomorrow, because we got to consider that Joshua is the cash cow. But with Usyk, he's a very down-to-earth, humble. And I'm not saying that Ruiz isn't humble and down-to-earth, but I'm just saying, he's not a starstruck person. He's more of a guy that's very serious about boxing. He's very serious about results, leg work, road work, all that sort of thing. He's very highly trained in that aspect. Where Ruiz wasn't. He was just thinking, okay, I'll just do it again. I'll get my money and I'll get out of there. And that's what caused him to fight. Joshua adapted, so out of shape Ruiz and cleanly outboxed him easily. Ruiz was an easy fight, where Usyk is going to be a very hard fight, probably his hardest fight, which you would think would be the first one. I think the second one will be even harder for him, okay? But by saying that, I think he's going to be more prepared. But, he's not challenging Usyk that, had trouble with Chisora. He's challenging now the unified champion. So, Usyk's going to be a lot more confident in this fight, I believe. And Usyk's got a lot to fight for. He's leaving the war for this fight. So this is a very historical fight. Just in general, a lot of people will be flying over there, politics, everything to do with politics and things like that. People will want to hear what Usyk has to say. I believe there'll be a lot of Ukrainians there. I believe that there will be possibly a lot of stars there. People like, Mila Kunis and people like that, that are from the Ukraine. And I think that, it should be a full stadium with very important people. Not saying that everyone isn't important, but I'm just saying there's going to be a lot of stars. There should be. Joshua's a guy that usually brings the excitement to the division. And, Usyk's the guy that people are questioning. Is he the best heavyweight out there? Obviously people think it's Tyson Fury at the moment, but, a lot of people are saying it's Usyk. So we're going to see what happens. Winner challenges Fury, that's another thing. Fury says that he's not retiring, so that's a good thing as well, So it's a great year ahead. We got Usyk Joshua 2, second half of the year now we have, and it's looking promising. We're still waiting for Spence versus Crawford to be announced, but in terms of excitement, this has got to be well up there with one of the most exciting fights of the year, Joshua Usyk 2. Now, a lot of people are writing off AJ. A lot of people are saying Usyk's in shape, he's in better shape than the first fight. He's going to knock him out this time, but you got to consider Joshua wasn't put on the canvas in the first fight, okay? So, Usyk isn't a guy that has that sort of power that can just knock you out with a punch. Although it's the heavyweight division, Joshua's a chinny heavyweight. He's a guy that's been put on the canvas before. He's a guy that's been rocked before, and he was able to, hold up, even though he was getting clearly outboxed and clearly outdone by Usyk. he was still managed to, finish the fight on his feet. So, I mean, you got to consider that too. You got to consider that Joshua has a puncher's chance, Obviously, he did seem like he was, starting to lose his stamina in the later rounds. But, that's what Joshua does, He's not a guy that's known for getting faster and getting stronger in the later rounds. He's a guy that sort of loses stamina. We've seen that, Especially with a guy like Usyk, it's going to be a hell of a fight for him. A hell of a fight. Basically, the way that I see it is that Joshua's going to have to hurt him early. He's going to have to land something big early to slow him down. He's going to have to target the body early. He's going to have to make Usyk think about jumping in or out of the pocket. He's going to have to try to make Usyk think about resetting the pocket. Okay? He can't afford Usyk to jump in and out and do what he wants like he did the first time. He's got to go for the right hand leads, go for the power shots. He's got the heart and the reach. Although he's got the heart and the reach, I believe his best way is to go forward. People will think his best way is to go back, seeing he's a taller guy, but he's challenging a guy that's better than him at boxing, so he's got to push forward. And most of all, you can't just stay stationary like he did the first fight. The first fight he stood stationary, and Usyk took advantage of him. He was easily getting hurt from Usyk. A lot of people thought it should have been a stoppage at round 12, including myself. Joshua was definitely leaning on the ropes, and he was in trouble. But I mean, this time he's coming more serious. The first fight I did say, in the press conference and all that, he didn't seem motivated enough to win it as much as Usyk did. He didn't seem like he was fazed by Usyk. He thought that Usyk would be an easy knockout, and it wasn't. That wasn't the case, And Usyk is used to challenging heavy guys. He's been challenging heavy guys for a long time. He's beaten all the top guys, really. He's beaten Beterbiev in the amateurs. He's beaten Joe Joyce. He's beaten the top guys. So, I mean, Joshua is a guy that really needs to step up his game. I believe that Joshua should be the underdog in this fight. Okay? And his only way is really the right-hand lead hurting him. The right-hand lead doing things unpredictable. The right-hand lead was very effective in the first fight. Although it didn't really hurt Usyk too much, it was landing, and I know that Usyk was feeling it. So he's got to land early with the right-hand lead, press forward. And another thing is Joshua didn't lose all the rounds, so he's got to look back on the rounds that he did win, and those were the rounds when he did go forward, So, I mean, he's got a puncher's chance for sure, but he's got to show up as he used to, as the Joshua that we know, fearless, not afraid to get hit, go in there, poke out the tongue and just throw whatever you can, and hurt him, seek and destroy, cut him off the ropes and finish it off. You can't give this guy space. You can't outbox this guy. You can't allow this guy to last for more than 7 rounds, okay? That's the way that I see it. If Usyk lasts more than 7 rounds, and, I see Usyk easily outboxing Joshua for the rest of the fight. Like I said, Joshua always has a puncher's chance, but he does lag in fitness in the later rounds. Usyk seems to maintain his fitness because he trains hard on the legs. He's very addicted to results. I believe he'll be the most determined he's ever been. He's fighting for his country that's in a war. He's definitely in shape. So, I mean, this is an all-time heavyweight classic, and I hope that it's not as one-sided as the first, and I believe that Joshua will show up. I'm choosing it as a 50-50 fight, guys. As crazy as it sounds, as crazy as it seems, as crazy as it looks, I think that Joshua is very prepared. I know that Ryan Garcia might not be the right guy for him, but Ryan Garcia is still a good coach, and he's been traveling all over the US trying to learn from different people. So he's definitely taking this fight very seriously. Okay, very seriously. Joshua's going to show up. I believe it's going to be a 50-50 fight. It's definitely a case of the puncher against the boxer. I give Joshua a puncher's chance. Joshua does have heavy hands. Usyk can outbox him if he lasts more than 7, in my opinion. But that's my take on it, man. I'm going for big pause. I don't know who to go for. I was going to go for Usyk, but I am an AJ fan. But hey, I'm going for Joshua for the knockout, okay? But at the same time, I want Usyk to win because of his country. So I'm going for both of them. That's my take on it. Leave yours, man. I look forward to hearing the comments. And I appreciate your guys' time, man. I appreciate you guys stopping in. I really do. And leave your take on it, man. Thanks for tuning in once again. Have a great day, man. Peace. Look forward to your take on it, man. God bless. Have a good one.